Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how we can factorize quadratic expressions. Now, for a quadratic expression, we know very well that it's supposed to have three terms, of which the first one is supposed to have a square, and the second one must just have a variable and a constant. So this expression exactly suits what we have here, of which here we only have y. Now, how do we factorize this one? We need to find our product. Okay, we need to find our sum, and we need to find our factors. Now, what is a product? We know to say it's an answer you get or when you multiply two or more numbers. In our case, you are multiplying a times c, of which our a here is 2 and our c is -6. So what is 2y squared by -6? It will give us an answer of -12y squared. So meaning that is our product. Then our sum, you just get b, of which here this is our b, so you just get it the way it is. So you're saying our sum is b. Then b here, this is our a, this is our a, this is our a, this is our b, this is our c, which is constant. So now we are saying for the sum, we just get our b, of which in our case it's supposed to be -y. Now let's find the factors. How do we find the factors? Factors, these are numbers. When we multiply them, they should give us -12y squared. When we add them, they should give us -y, of which those numbers are -4y and +3y. Look, when you multiply -4y by 3y, it will give us -12y squared. Y and y squared. -4 times 3, it's -12. Then -4y plus 3y to give us -y. Okay, so we have found that. Now, having done that, we can now substitute these two where there is b. We know to say, if we say -4y plus 3y to give us -y, of which that's what we have. So we're going to replace or substitute -y with these we have found. So meaning this will be 2y squared. Then what do we have here? -4y, this one, plus 3y minus 6. Okay, that is what we're going to have. Now, how do we proceed? We know to say these now can now be factorized. Since we have 4 terms, meaning they can be factorized. So this pair will be factorized as well as this pair. So what is common here? We can say that if we check, you can see that y is common, and also a figure that is common, or a number that is common here is 2. So 2y is common, open brackets. 2y into 2y squared. Now look at this. If at all we have 2y, this is the 2y squared, over 2y. This 2 and this 2, they will divide. Y and y will divide. What are we remaining with? We're remaining with another y here. So it is what you're going to put here. Minus. Again, you do the same. Okay? Again, you do the same. You have 4y. Okay? We have 4y over 2y. Y and y can divide. Then 2 into 4, or 4 divided by 2, it's actually a 2. So it is what you're going to put here. Okay? Then plus, what is common here? 3 is common, open brackets. 3 and 3 will divide. You can see that you remain with a y. So y here minus 3 into 6, it's direct. This one, it's a 2. You end there. Okay, having done that, we can now conclude our solution. Since this is what we found, you can get what is remaining outside. These which are outside, they'll have their own expression in brackets. So meaning you can say 2y plus 3 and y minus 2. You end here. Okay, that is how you factorize it, and it is as simple as that. Okay, now we go to number 2. Number 2, we have we have 2x squared plus x minus 10. So again, the question is saying factorize completely. How do we factorize this one? It is simple. We need to find our product, of which, what is our product? You multiply the first term, which is our a, by c. 2 by negative 10 to give us negative 20 x squared, because of this square. Then our sum, we said our sum, we just get our b, of which in our case here it's just x. Then we go to the factors now. For the factors, you just get your for the factors, look at this. We have x and negative 20x squared. Now, which two numbers, when we add them, they'll give us which two terms, when you add them, they should give us an x. So here you have to be careful again. Which numbers can we multiply to give us 20? We know to say it's 2 and 10, they'll give us 20. 5 and 4, they can give us 20. Now, when you check 2 and 10, when you add those two, even if we are to give one of the values a negative, it will not give us our x. But if we have 5x and maybe a negative 4x, this will give us 5x times 4x, it's 20, of which this negative 5x times negative 4x is negative 20x squared. Then 5x minus 4x, it's x. So meaning those are our factors. So we're going to substitute these two where there is x. So it will be 2x squared. The first factor we have is 5x, so you can say plus 5x minus 4x minus 10. It doesn't matter which of the factors you start with, the answer will still be the same. So what is common? Again, we do the same. You can see that there are 4 terms now, so we can factor them. We can factorize these two just like that. So now what is common here? We can see that it's only x. There's no number that can go into 2 and 5 that leaving a remainder. So x, open brackets, x into 2x squared, we know say it's 2x, plus x into 5x, it's just a 5. What is common here? So meaning it's negative 4 and 10. Which number can go into these two numbers? We know to say it's 2, open brackets. Negative and negative, it will give us a positive. 2 into 4x, it's 2x. Then negative and negative, it's positive. When you divide negative divided by negative, it's positive. 2 into 10, that's a 5. Now, since we've reached here, these two terms are the same. Now, like I said, this one will go with this one. Okay, so meaning we can say x minus 2 and 2x plus 5. Then you end there. That's how you solve it. Let us go to our last example. Okay, let's go to the last example, which is, I'll call it number 3. We have m squared minus 2m minus 8 again we do the same. We'll find our product. Okay, what is our product? Negative 8 by 1m squared, because here we assume there is 1. The coefficient of m is 1. So negative 8 by m squared, it's negative 8m squared. For the sum, you just get the one that has a variable without a power, that is b, this one, so it's negative 2m. Then for the factors, it is simple. Which two numbers, when we multiply them, they should give us negative 8. When we add them, they should give us negative 2, of which the easiest ones we find it's 4 and 2. Now, to be like this. Now, which one should carry a negative charge? Because 4 times 2, it's 8. So, this one should have a negative charge, so that you can say negative 4 plus 2x to give us negative. So, it's supposed to be m. Okay. So, negative 4m plus 2m to give us negative 2m. Then negative 4m times negative 2m, positive 2m to give us negative 8m squared. So we substitute these factors again where there is this, our sum. So meaning it will be m squared minus this one, which is 4m. This is positive, so plus 2m, meaning these, they've substituted negative 2m, because when we add these to negative 4m plus 2m to take us back to this, then minus 8. What is common here? Again we do the same, meaning these will factorize like this, even these like that. So we are going to have m, which is common between the two, open brackets, m minus 4. What is common here, we know to say it's positive 2, open, m minus 2 into 8, it's a 4. So these two are the same, so this will go with that. So meaning m plus 2 and m minus 4. You end it there. Maybe just to add on, okay, so we have our last question here, which is y squared minus 5y minus 6. We're again doing the same. So what is our product? Our product, we multiply a and c, of which here y squared by negative 6 starts negative 6y squared. Then our sum, you just get the value of b, of which here it's just negative 5y. Now for the factors, again, I find it to be, for learners, to be a bit challenging when it comes to factors, and that's the reason why this video is very important for you. So when you check here, each two numbers, when you multiply them, they should give us negative 6. When you add them, they'll give us negative 5. Someone will say, no, it's supposed to be 3 and 2, because 3 and 2 to give us 5. But what are those numbers? Are we saying it's 3 and 2? Now, if we say negative 3 and negative 2, meaning when you multiply them, they'll give us negative 6. Positive 6, of which that's not that's not what we want. Meaning our product, or our factors here, it's negative 6y and positive y. We know to say negative 6y by y, it will be negative 6y squared. Then negative 6 plus y to be negative 5y. So these are our factors. So we're going to substitute them the where? We're going to substitute these where there is this one, because we know to say negative 6y